Ash from Super Videos, back for another sneak peek breakdown of a sneak peek that was recently released for the upcoming episode of The Walking Dead, Season 10, Episode 7, called Open Your Eyes. Before jumping into this, two things I want to bring up. The first is that this seems to be an extended, longer version of the sneak peek that was released on Talking Dead, which I actually did a separate video on, but I will basically redo it because this seems to be an extended and longer version of that sneak peek. The other thing I do want to mention is that I was under the impression that that sneak peek, which we're going to look at, was actually the opening minutes, but it seems like that's not the case, and this sneak peek is actually not the opening minutes of the episode. So with that said, let's jump right into it. First, we have this shot of Siddiq. He's at Alexandria most likely, and then he sees this machete on the table, and then his PTSD kicks in. This time, it's not really PTSD. He sees flashes of different moments, and I think it's safe to say that these moments are moments we're gonna see in this episode. But the first one is this shot of this room. Now there's two ways this could go. This could either be Rosita's room, and it could indicate that Rosita's dying, or it could be less significant than that, and it could just be the room of someone who was sick. Maybe the old lady. It could be her room, and maybe she died. And then we get this flash of someone's body wrapped in blanket with a cross right next to them. Now, again, there's two ways this could go. This could either be Rosita or just someone else who died from the sickness that's spreading at Alexandria. We do know this is not Siddiq because in the shot that's in the trailer, Siddiq is looking at the body. So we know that this is not Siddiq's body. And then we get another flash, which I think is interesting, of Dante. He's in the jail cell. Most likely this scene is connected to when they're treating the Whisper prisoner. But why is Siddiq seeing this flash? That's very interesting. Why is he remembering this? Also, Dante has blood all over his shirt. That's interesting as well. It could obviously be that they're treating the Whisperer prisoner. He was injured. He's bleeding. That could be it. But then we get this shot. I don't really know what to make of, but I think Siddiq is holding this jar, but that's pretty much everything we can see. We can't say much more. And then this shot. So this is the Whisper prisoner, and he looks dead. So that's very, very interesting. But he is bleeding, which kind of connects to why Dante has blood on his shirt and everything. But why is Siddiq seeing these things? Why is he getting kind of PTSD still, in a way, of these moments that happened in this episode? So it means that something significant must have happened for it to be in Siddiq's head. Then we get this shot of Siddiq dunking his head into cold water, and then this shot of Siddiq holding his chest as if his chest is hurting, and then he looks at his hand, and then it gets a little blurry, and then he hears screams. So this is when his actual PTSD from the Pikes Massacre kicks in. And then he gets this flash again of Enid in his head. Now these we kind of talked about before. These were in the Talking Dead sneak peek, which we talked about. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. And then he bangs on his chest even more, hears some more screaming, and then covers his ears. And that's where he looks around, but it's all blurry. And then he runs towards the lake, I think, at Alexandria, and jumps inside. And this is where the original Talking Dead sneak peek ended. But in this one, it continues, obviously. And then we have this shot of Siddiq with his eyes closed. He opens his eyes, and that's when we get some more flashes of the Pikes Massacre scene moments. So we have this shot. I think this is DJ, the Savior, who was decapitated by the Whisperers. We don't see his face. This is as much as we see. And then he sees Alpha saying, "Look." So that hints that maybe all this is that they made him look. They made him watch everyone get decapitated, which kind of makes sense as well. But like we've talked about before, there's a possibility that Siddiq could have something to do with everything. Not that he is a Whisperer, but he might have been in a situation where he gave up a life to save a life, in a way. Then we get this shot of Siddiq, and then this shot of Alpha holding the machete. Then we get this shot of blood everywhere, and then this shot of a spider and some blood in the background splattered all over the wall. Now, we've seen these flashes before in Siddiq's previous PTSD episodes, but he's just seeing it all again. And then we get this shot of Alpha saying, look, and then this shot of a male screaming sound, and then Siddiq looks at them, and then Siddiq screams Enid, so he's most likely looking at Enid at this point, and I think this is Enid now. Enid screams, and then Siddiq cries, he cries even more, and then he screams, and then we jump back into current time. That's pretty much it. That's where the sneak peek ends. So it seems like parts of the sneak peek were cut on Talking Dead, which is very interesting. And the other thing is that, like I said before, these are not the opening minutes. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.